This is the story of the Seychelles, an archipelago of 115 islands in the Indian Ocean with abundant tourism attractions and with a positive economic outlook that is putting the country on the world map for international investors. This mystical archipelago of granite and coralline islands is located just below the equator. The capital, Victoria, is found on the main island of Mahe, where the majority of the population of its 87,000 inhabitants live. The Seychelles are known for their welcoming and hospitable people, for political stability and social harmony, as well as rich historical and cultural heritage. While small in size, the country is proving to be a model for sustainable development, apart from continuing to be the dream holiday destination for millions all over the world. Throughout this programme, we will take a look at the country's recent reforms and initiatives that have been put in place in recent years that have brought about the transformation of the country. Re-elected for the second term, President James Michel has placed priority on sustainable development, empowering the youth, improving education services, and encouraging entrepreneurship in all sectors of the economy, which is based primarily on tourism, fisheries, and international financial services.
The new Seychelles entails building on what we already have achieved over the past 35 years. For example, in the social area, we have invested a lot in education, in health, and housing, and other infrastructure for the well-being of the people. We have always put people at the center of development. We have invested a lot in education. And recently I set up the university again, which would be another tool for young people to be able to develop skills for the future.
All what we do here is centered on our people. They become first. They are first. They are central to our program. And this is why we are putting in place, and we continue to put in place, the right strategies and policies to empower the Seychelles people. Once upon a time, most of the employment was created by government itself. As we move forward, we now see that most of the Seychellois are now working in the private sector.
A nation that has dedicated more than 50% of its landmass to nature conservation, the Seychelles is very much committed to development with sustainability at its core. Whether in fishing, tourism or manufacturing, the country has been busy putting in place regulations that put the protection of the environment as a #1 priority. During the second quarter of 2008, as the world economy was hit by one of the biggest financial crises of the last few decades, the government of Seychelles immediately embarked on a comprehensive reform program with the support of the IMF and the World Bank to counter the impact of the crisis on the Seychelles economy. Measures were taken to strengthen macroeconomic stability, raising efficiency and transparency of public finance, and the Seychelles rupee was floated. Further privatization and reforms in the public service were done with a view to reducing the role of the state in the economy and encouraging private sector activity. The United Arab Emirates has aided Seychelles in one of the most challenging periods of its economic and social development, and has in recent years reached unprecedented levels. The total value of support from the UAE since 2007 to 2011 was in the region of $150 million. The importance of investment from the UAE during the economic downturn cannot be overstated, as foreign direct investment from the Middle East was a significant contributor to the 6% growth in 2011.
The special relationship between our two countries makes it very easy for us to collaborate in the development of projects, not only as grants but also in business, in areas of win-win situations. For example, like Etihad has invested in Air Seychelles, again, which is a purely business proposition. It helps Air Seychelles in times where most small airlines in the world are running into problems. At the same time, it is in the interest of Etihad to use Air Seychelles in order to be able to move on and create a bigger market. So it's a win-win situation, and they have also invested in hotels here, which benefits Seychelles, but also benefits them as investors in the country.
To spice up the already multifaceted relations between Seychelles and the UAE, Seychelles flag carrier Air Seychelles entered a strategic partnership agreement with Etihad Airways in 2012. The agreement, which is the first of its kind in Africa, makes provision for a 5-year management contract for Etihad Airways, as well as substantial investment, which will see the implementation of strategic measures to encourage Air Seychelles' long-term commercial growth. Its 1.4 million square exclusive economic zone and host to one of the deepest ports in the Indian Ocean, transshipping the greatest amount of tuna in the region, highlights the potentials and possibilities for lucrative economic and financial activities. The combination of its modern infrastructure, telecommunications, regular and reliable connections to major cities of the world combine to offer the discerning investor a unique investment platform from which to operate. Remoteness, limited markets and the related high costs of doing business have and are progressively being eliminated, given the revolution in ICT, frequency and reliability of transport, as Seychelles embraces globalization without compromising its uniqueness by 1,000 miles.
We want in 10 years not to see our income levels better, but we want to see a better quality of development. Now we want to see Seychelles being preserved as it is today. We want to see new sources of energy. We want to see our islands remaining clean and healthy. We want to see a modern, for example, modern public transport where we are not overcrowded with cars and vehicles. So we want a better quality of life that doesn't compromise our quality of our living standards.
Because the opportunities are there. The president wants us to take on board these opportunities. So there's a lot of new initiatives that are coming through, and there are, because of now that the economy is liberalized and the ease of doing business is being improved, so anybody can go in those various activities and enhance their own personal capacity.